from that little radio station in County Limerick, from West Limerick 102 Studios. It is myself again, once again. It's Michael Muto here with another show. If you've never heard this show before, it's basically a podcast version of a morning show I do here on West Limerick 102 from 9 a.m. to 11. Kind of a condensed version without the music, basically, and news and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, here is the show. Oh, God. Another Tuesday means another show. Let's get everything on now. I don't even have time for breakfast or anything again, or even brush my teeth. I'll just head over to the car. I have my phone anyway, at least that's something. And I think I have a charger with me, and I have all the gear I need. Okay, well, my notes and everything. My keys there now, start the car. There we go. Oh. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Driving to work in my automobile. Bum 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 bum. Oh, whoops! Oh, sorry. Oh God. I will get caught. The one time I'm in a hurry and I get caught knocking someone down. Oh God. Oh, I barely hit him. Oh, I'm just gonna lose him. I don't have time for this, not today. I'm a guest, I got a lot of stuff to do today. I don't have enough time for this crap. Come on. For God's sake. Off my back. Come on. Oh, God. Oh, this water bike is here. I'm gonna hotwire it and I'm gonna get into the station. Come on. They're charging up me. They're picking up me. Come on. Yes, that's it. Yes. Come on. Whee! I'm off. Won't be stopping to my show. Yes. Take that, suckers. I'm gonna make it to the station right in time. This is brilliant. Oh, God. Oh, I can see the station from here. I'm gonna walk there. Oh, God. Oh, my side and everything's all... Oh, God. Oh, there's the door. Oh, come on. Oh, he's inside. He said something. Oh, flip's sake. Oh, right, let's set the show. If you heard the start of the show there, you would have heard my, well, frankly, terrible acting. Anyway, this is the Michael Muto Show here on West Limerick 102 FM. It's 9 o'clock. Hours just gone, 9:13. The temperature here is 2 degrees Celsius. If you're in the area, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because there's loads of snow outside. It was snowing, it was sleeting, I think, as I walked in. But I don't know if it was snow or sleet, but it was coming down anyway. It was snow yesterday and today and everything. I don't know why I'm rambling, because we've so much to talk about today. We've got guests in. We've got a lot of topics to talk about. I don't have any time for anything. So, without further ado, here's our first song. Here is Drake with God's Plan. Drake there and God's Plan. Don't forget, if you want to send in a request, you can at 087 166 9800, 087 166 9800, or call 069 66200, 069 66200. We've got Ann-Marie Silbiger, I think is how you pronounce her last name. Maybe I'm wrong. It should be coming in later on. She's a poet who works with Neville Southall, former keeper for Everton. We got a load of news today, and of course we have to talk about the fact that SpaceX put a car into space. I feel people weren't talking about that enough. There was a car in space. People going, oh, Valentine's Day. But a lot of other races talk about that today. Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that SpaceX put a car into outer space. If you're a fan of 80s animation, like I am, and I know you all are, Canadian animation to be very specific, there was a film in 1980s called Heavy Metal, which was an adults-only kind of animated thing, just kind of violence things like that. And maybe other bits and pieces. But anyway, listen, don't worry about that. But there was the start of it was a car in outer space, and it made me think of that very, very scene. It was very interesting to see that that's what they were doing. So they put Tesla in space, and they did a rotation of the Earth. And I think Elon Musk said it was surreal when it happened. We got other bits and pieces of news. Another piece of news is that Toad from the Super Mario Brothers games. Super Mario games have been around since the 80s, a long time. And of course, a constant figure in all those games has been Toad. When you get to the end of a level, Toad will tell you, I'm sorry, Mario, but the princess isn't in our castle. And that's my impression of Toad. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Maybe if you have a different impression, 087-166-9800. You're wrong, though. But anyway, sorry, Mario. But, he had a big mushroom thing on top of his head, and everyone thought, is that a hat? What is that? Well, here's the statement. Toad from Super Mario franchise has revealed, or the Toad from Super Mario, Nintendo has revealed that the mushroom thing on top of its head is actually his head. Yoshihaki, I believe, Kojima, the man behind Super Mario Odyssey, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, so I'm very sorry, confirmed this week that the mushroom is actually part of Toad's head. He said, so that, as it turns out, is actually Toad's head. I'm going to leave it all for you to figure out how that works. Maybe there's something inside. Oh, how weird. Anyway, we're going to start off. We're going to go with now is YMCA by the Village People. Don't forget, you can text in. I saw there's a text coming in. I'll be checking that out in 2 minutes. You can text in as 087-166-9800, 087-166-9800 for all your song requests. Here's YMCA by the Village People. That was the YMCA by the Village People. You can do a lot in the YMCA, I imagine. There's I think they have classes, there's exercising. What was that? They were doing what in the YMCA? My goodness. Anyway, we have Ann-Marie Silbiger. How do you pronounce your last name? Silbiger. Why can't I pronounce names? What's wrong with me? I'm on radio, I think I should pronounce names. Anyway, Ann-Marie works with, you probably might have heard of him. He's Neville Southall. Is it Neville Southall or Neville Southall?
Neville Southall.
That's another one I get confused with for some reason. Neville Southall, who's become sort of a celebrity now, again on Twitter. People just have fallen in love with him, with his tweets and everything. I think I discovered him, someone put up a tweet and retweeted him and said, what did we do as humanity to deserve Neville Southall? Or Hall even, god damn it. Anyway, Ann-Marie is a poet who works with Neville, who you put poetry on the end of his columns. What magazine is that for, actually?
Huck magazine.
Huck magazine. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. So, what kind of poems would you normally...
Basically, he writes about the sort of political and contentious issues like homelessness, transphobia, homophobia, immigration, things like that. And then he just sort of messages me a few days before and asks me to come up with a poem to suit the column. I don't see the column. I don't know exactly what context. I only have to guess by the way that I know politically how he thinks. He's a left-leaning, Labour voting, Corbyn supporting guy, and I'm of the same strain. So we suit each other quite well in that respect. And so far, he's quite happy with my work, and you can see it online at Huck magazine on Twitter. If you go there, they'll post a link every Tuesday of Neville's column. And on Facebook as well, Huck magazine.
Yeah, he's it's kind of depressing, frankly, that you brought up transphobia. That's a political issue that you have to, that someone would have a problem with anybody that was trans. I've never, as long as I lived, I've never understood it, and now it's
I've had
again.
one friend in my lifetime who was suicidal because of the attacks she suffered as a result of something that she couldn't help.
Yep.
And he's got a huge trans following now, obviously, because of his support for them. And the conversations I've had with people who started following me as a result of him have been absolutely shocking. I mean, it's spiked. The attacks have spiked. They've actually reached a scary number of people are getting attacked, can't leave their homes, won't be given jobs because people won't employ them, things like that. It's really scary.
It's I've never understood it. The like how does that affect anybody else? I don't. It's just the stupidest thing. It's not even because we don't really get political on this show.
At the risk of sounding contentious, a lot of it comes from a section of feminists and a section of very religious people who believe that there are only two genders, and a section of feminists, like I said, who believe that if you're born a woman, you're a woman. You can't. But the thing that people confuse is that it's not about the gender. It's not about. It's what's in your brain. It's what's in your mind when you're born like that and you feel like that. I can only say from a second-hand point of view, but from what I've spoken to people about it.
You kind of know yourself. You mean like I've often thought about this. It's like, well, Joe, because you told us as a kid, you're like, well, I consider myself male. I think of myself as a male, and you just kind of know it yourself in yourself. Like it's not just a physical thing. Do you mean if all my bits were gone, I would still think of myself as a man?
Like you say, I don't know why it's so offensive to other people as to what you want to do with your life and how you live it. I do not understand.
Regardless of if someone thought that was a real thing or not, it's nobody's business.
I think it's Stephen Fry who said something about people being offended. I can't remember the exact saying, but it's something about he's sick of people being offended for the sake of being offended. Something like that. I'm sure I'm wrong how I'm phrasing it, but so he's opened up my world a lot as a poet. I only started sort of tweeting poetry in the last few months, and I just basically butted in on a tweet. He was talking about something political, something to do with benefits and how bad it is in England at the moment, how people are denied. People with obvious disabilities being denied benefits, and then he messaged me, and I said, "Oh, you're looking for a poet?" And he went, "Actually, I am." And I sort of just steamrolled from there. And he just sort of messages me every morning, and then every night, "Good night," just to check I'm all right, because I have mental health. I have mental health issues, and I make that quite clear on my Twitter page that I have BPD.
What's BPD now?
It's borderline personality disorder, which to a lot of people makes you sound like a complete bunny boiler. But there's a lot of misinformation about it out there. But if you just Google BPD on the Mind website, they'll give you the correct information. Don't just go by word of gossip.
Or even like old kind of. We need something for this film. She has 2 different personalities. That's the thing. I don't have time, Johnson. This is the story for the soap opera. That's enough. Kind of attitude, it's that kind of thing. But I was going to say, it's gone on my head totally now. We've talked about mental health has come up a thing on this show a lot, because I've talked about my own depression and things like that on here, and just start to things that I think it's just talking about it. And I think anyone else out there that has the same thing as you is probably hearing this and going like, if they're, and kind of going like, oh, that's nice to hear someone else talk. But just to hear someone else talk about it is interesting.
It's very hard to diagnose as well. And obviously, I was only diagnosed last year. I'm 44 years old. I've lived with the symptoms of this disorder for a long time. I was told I had panic disorder, but I had depression and anxiety, which I have alongside of it. But the psychiatrist I saw last year was on the money. He knew what he was doing, and I knew myself. I was diagnosing myself, which isn't advisable, obviously. But if you've lived with it a long time and there's nothing wrong with questioning your diagnosis and getting a second opinion. And he just turned around to me and he said, "Yes, you do have borderline." And I was crying and I was upset. And then I thought, actually, it makes sense. And then I was able to sort of look at ways of helping myself and the symptoms, which are long and varied, but I manage all right. I do okay. I have a very supportive husband and a loving son and very, very, very supportive friends. But I do need a therapy called dialectal behavioural therapy, which isn't supported by the NHS at the moment, and is very hard to come by because it's underfunded, like a lot of things in the mental health area. But if anybody ever wants to message me or ask me about BPD on Twitter or on Facebook, then you can just message me. I'm at happymiss73 on Twitter. I hope that's okay to say.
Yep. How would that be not okay to say?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
You can switch it up. As long as you don't advertise something, we're okay. That's the only line we can't cross.
I can't say Kerrygold.
You can say it, but you can't say you can buy it. I can say it. There are other brands of butter, frankly, that are better.
Cola.
Or better. Cola is fine. We can say that too. Who's text me in? Hey, Musa, will you be in past? Oh, is this you? Oh no, play something in front of me for Brendan. Oh, cool. That's Brendan Laffin, who is a person who's in the station. Wesley Shaw at 1 o'clock was texting me in there. That's strange. Anyway, sorry. Go on anyway.
Don't know where I was. What was I saying?
I don't know where we were. Dang, we've gone on to something else. Joe, we'll do. Actually, Joe, we have to do now is we have to go to some ads. We'll be back with Ann-Marie after these. We're going to take a quick break and back after these messages.
Volunteer with us. At West Limerick 102, we pride ourselves in delivering quality, diverse and informative programming. If you have program ideas, if you are interested in the environment, agriculture, heritage, the arts and more, then why not volunteer with your not-for-profit community radio station, West Limerick 102. Call 069 66 200.
West Limerick 102 FM 50-50 draw. Tickets now on sale. The raffle takes place weekly, live on air in West Limerick 102 FM studios. The more that's in, the more you win. Tickets only €2 each, on sale now in local shops and West Limerick 102 offices. Call us on 069 66 200.
We're back, and here is the rest of the show. We're back with Ann-Marie here. Silbiger, is that right?
Yeah, it was O'Dwyer. It used to be O'Dwyer.
O'Dwyer, yeah, that's just. We're talking about what things we could talk about as during the ad break, because we don't just disappear into a void when the ads go on. We're still here as things just. I don't know why that joke made sense in my head, but it came out and it sounded odd, and I was like, no, the listeners to this show know how weird things are. We once had a thing about skeletons coming and kidnapping someone, so that's nothing is weird. Anyway, go on. But we were talking about what is this show? Anyway, we were talking about how Ann-Marie is originally local. So you're from Newcastle West originally?
Yeah, grew up in Beechwood Gardens and then moved to Connolly Avenue. My father was an artist, Michael O'Dwyer. My sister's now doing really well as an artist, Olivia. My uncle Ned was a local councillor, so I think the O'Dwyers are known quite well in the town. So yeah, people might know me out there.
Remember you from back in the day?
Back in the day. I left when I was 19.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so favourite poetry. What kind of poetry do you read poetry yourself, or do you avoid it?
No, I do try to read it, because obviously the more you read, the more you learn, the more you know, and things, as much as people try to be original and write original, we are regurgitating things, and it's just from a different voice or different point of view. I love there's this spoken word performer from Canada called Shane Coitchin. If you ever look him up on YouTube, he is like therapy for the soul. He's absolutely amazing. I saw him in Camden in the Jazz Cafe a couple of years ago, and I got to meet him as well.
Oh, cool.
I nearly fainted with I was like total fan sweats. Him, and a couple of other not so well known poets, and obviously people like Seamus Heaney, Brendan Kennelly, Pablo Neruda, E.E. Cummings. E.E. Cummings, Pablo Neruda.
Yeah, where do I know that name from?
He's either Brazilian or Spanish. I'm showing up now how much I don't know about him.
No, but what kind of stuff did he do? Did he do something else other than poetry? I can't. That's his name just me. I was like,
rings a bell.
Maybe I'm thinking of a singer. Anyway, go on. What was the second? E.E. Cummings.
E.E. Cummings, I can identify with because he wrote in short, sharp bursts, and that's kind of like how I write. I like to kind of get my message across in about 4 lines if possible. And I think that's because of my attention span.
The way they're not haikus, but they look like, if at a glance, they're just a few lines. It looks almost like it could be a haiku and stuff like that. Did you ever try those?
Yeah, I have tried that, but I'm just not suited to a certain. I just write the way I write.
Yeah.
It's sporadic, random, and that's why the challenge of writing for Neville has been like had me banging my head off the wall, because I write spontaneously. I write whatever comes into my head. As poets do, they notice their environment a lot more, and sort of emotions are very heightened. And also of having, not to mention it again, but having BPD, it does actually heighten your emotions, and you are very sensitive to your surroundings, and. As much as I love writing for Neville, yes, he does. I am like, Neville, I can't do it. And he's like, no, you can. Of course you can. You'll be fine. You can do it. And I have to admit, when I first came across Neville, I had absolutely no idea who he was. I had to read his Twitter page and look him up.
I didn't really know who he was either. I don't know anything about football. And I was like, this poet who works with Neville Southall. Neville Southall! I was like, oh my God.
But now I'm aware of how much a legend he is, and I've got all these football fans following me, and I've got on my timeline just all this stuff about football, and I'm like, I have no idea what any of it is, what they're talking about. So I did a tweet one day, and a load of men messaged me, which sounds dodgy, but it wasn't at all, saying that they'd never read poetry until they came across my stuff, and that they'd been converted to poetry because of it. Yeah. And I found that the biggest compliment to keep writing and keep doing what I do.
It is interesting though. I mean, we've seen, I can't think of the guy's name now, but there's been a few instances now where people in the realm of football or soccer, whatever, have made big political stands and stuff like that, and have made real change in certain parts of the world and stuff like that. What's weird is in like England, it doesn't have as much power as would say certain parts of Africa and stuff like that. I've seen places like that where it's gone, where someone has had real change and stuff like that. But it's very interesting how people, because of the power of soccer and stuff like that, I think people like myself now who aren't that up in sports kind of go, it's only whatever sport or whatever. But people really do get involved in these things and really do take these players to heart and stuff like that. And I think someone like Neville then coming out and saying this, where you think like, oh, he's probably this big heart, because you see the picture on Twitter, you think he's a hard man. He looks like he's got a mustache, he's got a tough face. You wouldn't imagine he's a soft soul. Like
if you read one of his articles in Huck magazine online, it's free to read. You don't have to buy it. He discusses his earlier attitude and homophobia and the sort of with the lads sort of a mentality towards women and gay men and women and growing up and how he's changed as a human being, and that's really inspiring, I think, for a lot of people, and that's why I think he has become so famous on Twitter because he's honest. And he sees things as he thinks them. And he does get some abuse. And I've messaged him and I said, how do you cope with it? I said, and I'd be coming to his defence and he'd be like, you don't need to do that. I'm a big boy. I can look after myself. I'm like, yeah, but how do you put up with these idiots coming in and calling you horrible names?
He had a great line one time. He said, he goes, people ask me if I write so much about gays, am I gay? And he goes, if I write about tigers, does that mean I'm a tiger?
Yeah, that was a great line.
That's become like a thing now where his followers are tigers and stuff like that. So that's good. I love that. But I think that's kind of a good point, because you do kind of have to, when you hear people that are kind of like, you go, oh, that's like you hear like homophobic people or biggest people. I think we have an attitude of maybe attacking and stuff like that sometimes, and from every point of view. I think sometimes if you just talk to people and say like, well, what the hell's going on with you that you're thinking this? Like, I mean,
instead of sitting behind your keyboard and flinging a load of hurtful, hateful abuse, why don't you try talking to people that you're scared of? And if it scares you so much, you should face that fear. They're only human beings like you and I. I don't understand it.
If it's not I don't understand people that hate people that are doing whatever that isn't hurting anybody or a different group. It's like what was Stan Lee, the comic book writers, they wanted, because if there were no other race in the world and everyone was white, the redheads would hate the blondes. It's like the stupidest, most dumb thing I've never understood. We're saying things that people are like, yeah, we know, we get it, but it's just like, yeah, I know, I get it, and that's the whole point. It's so stupid. Like,
but it's sad that in 2018 we're still in a position where people are afraid to go out because they have to hide their true identity.
I don't get this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, listen.
Cheerful.
Well, maybe Franz Ferdinand will take them out. This is doom. Anyway, here's a song. Franz Ferdinand, Take Me Out. Are you going to head away now? Because it's about 9:45 now. You said you want to get the 10:15.
Yeah,
bus
I will
or
have to
something.
head soon.
Yeah. So we'll say goodbye to Anne-Marie now.
Thank
And thank
you.
you so much for
You're
coming in
welcome.
and hanging out with us and talking about varied topics. I didn't know what we were going to talk about. Well, it's going to be interesting. Anyway, it was. And thank you for coming in and talking about all the
welcome,
topics we've
Michael.
talked about. Thank you so much. Here is Franz Ferdinand, who are touring again, I think. Here's Take Me Out. Franz Ferdinand there, whoa. I hope the levels are okay during that interview, by the way. I was just watching the needle go up and down. Thank you again to Anne-Marie for coming in and for having that really interesting chat. We went through the spectrum there. That was a lot of stuff we talked about. We talked about poetry, we talked about mental illness, we talked about phobias of different kinds, of bigotry, and things like that. Because, let's be honest, saying homophobia or transphobia, it's not a phobia, it's not a fear, it's just a bigotry. Come on. This is people. What's interesting is that we're told a lot of times that people in the countryside and stuff like that, we're all backwards, we're all boggers and things like that. You hear that from people in Dublin. Well, I can guarantee you that not one person is going to have a problem with what we were talking about. We're just having an open discussion, and people are open-minded and open-hearted. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. I'm in love with my listeners here on West Limerick 102, the most loveliest people I've ever encountered, and I couldn't believe it. Anyway, before we go on, I've got something to do. I made a promise to someone last night. I'm going to play The Boxer now by Simon and Garfunkel, and this is going out to Cassia, and her father has passed away, and so this goes out to him. She said he was from Staten Island. This is a quote to me. I'm just quoting it verbatim. He was from Staten Island and went to Brooklyn Tech, and he said the coffee on the ferry tasted the best the day they found a rat boiled to death in the cafe. But so this goes out to Cassia and her father Skip, as he went by. Here is The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. Don't forget, if you have any requests or anything, comments to make in, text in at 087 166 9800, 087 166 9800, 087 166 9800. Here is The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel.
I am just a poor boy, though my story is seldom told. I squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles such.
Hey, that was The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel for Skip, who is a Mets fan as well, I was told to say. Right, I got 2 texts in earlier on today. Sorry about that, Tom. I couldn't find the Tom and Causeway. Sorry, but I couldn't find that song you asked for. I was looking. That's what I'm doing the whole time. 4 country roads. So I know I've seen it before, but I can't find it right now. So sorry about that. I got a text in from Brendan. Hi Muso, will be in at 10:20 for some fun. Play something for me from Brendan laughing. And of course, like I said earlier on, Brendan does the 1 o'clock show. Everyone on the station knows that. Anytime I'm on the street with someone and they go, I know that man. They say, myself and Brendan might be down selling tickets, and they go, I know you, don't I, from somewhere. And he goes, I just say, he's on the radio. They go, oh, of course, I know you. He's a big follower. Welcome back, it's Michael Muto here on West Limerick 102 FM. We are bringing you all the great tunes and news and gossip and everything. Well, not gossip, you don't really do gossip here. Until 11 o'clock. Don't forget, if you want to send the request of any kind of song, we're kind of playing kind of pop and rock kind of stuff today, but if you want to request like a nice slow country song or any kind of song at all, jazz, whatever, you can do so at 087-166-9800, 087-166-9800, and that number again is 087-166-9800. Yeah. So, I can't believe it's almost 10 o'clock hour. Now, we'll be going into the charts, maybe, of course, in 2 minutes, but, lads, it's Pancake Tuesday! It's Pancake Tuesday! It's Pancake Tuesday. Have you had any pancakes yet? It's Pancake Tuesday. I haven't had any pancakes. We got the mix yesterday to have it, and it's kind of, I totally forgot about it. Everything's happening this week. It's Valentine's Day and it's Pancake Tuesday. I mean, oh my God! If you're not making pancakes in the shapes of hearts today, I just know what to tell you. Also, by the way, speaking of also, what do you like on your pancakes? There's a podcast that's done now out of here. Well, there's a fella on here by the name of Sean Sheehan, who he and his co-hosts have had some very interesting ideas about what you can put on pancakes. Sean, of course, is a Newcastle West man, and on the Severe MMA podcast. And frankly, it's the stuff they come up with. I think one was cheese. I mean, come on. Decent people of West Limerick, can you imagine this? This is what goes on. I am outraged. I'm not saying Sean said that, I'm saying that has been said. Anyway, what is your favourite topping on a pancake? Is it the traditional bit of lemon and a bit of sugar? I was going to say salt. Don't put lemon and salt in your pancakes. Or do you like lemon and salt in your pancakes? Lemon and salt. Or dang it, I said it again. Some people like Nutella. Maybe just chocolate sauce. Do you wrap it? Do you have those kind of thick ones that you just kind of on top of each other and stuff that you eat them that way? Also, are pancakes a breakfast? Because in America, you see that on TV. People will talk about pancakes and they have them as a breakfast item. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I think they feel like a dessert kind of a thing. I don't know how. But or maybe you could have them for dinner. I don't know. Anyway, how many have you had already today? Have you had any today? I have had none today. I have had none. Yeah. And my family apparently love me. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, welcome to the show. In an attempt to seem more cultured and grown up and frankly mature than the normal fare that we've been doing here on the Michael Muto show. I mean, we've had sketches where robots came in and threatened West Limerick with toasters and cats calling landlords and all sorts of stupid things about vampires and things like that. But so we thought, you know what? Let's have a real discussion. Let's have a real chat. We have noted nuclear scientist here, Hans Klein. Good morning, Hans. Hi, Michael. How are you today? I'm good. I suppose what I have here, we should talk about nuclear proliferation around the world at the moment. Of course, on the headlines still, I suppose, is North Korea and their testing of missiles and the potential of them creating a nuclear missile. Yes, that's been on my mind too. It's been on my mind a lot of scientists, I think, over the last few months. But while only a few have been talking about, everyone talks about the nuclear arms and of course North Korea. And of course, a couple of years ago, in Iran were thinking about getting into nuclear power, and they would worry about them becoming getting nuclear arms. But what only a few scientists are talking about is nuclear legs. I'm sorry, did you say nuclear legs? Yes, nuclear legs. Sort of nuclear arms, but legs. And, should we be worried about these nuclear legs? Oh, no. It's that nuclear legs are sort of like nuclear arms, but dumb, you know? What's the difference? Well, one is a real scary thing that we should be worried about and should deter people from using nuclear arms because this causes great devastation. Nuclear legs is like someone who sat down one afternoon, possibly on a Sunday, and said, "Hey, nuclear arms. What about nuclear legs?" Sort of a simpleton, perhaps, hosting a dumb morning show. Yeah. Well, Dr. Hans Klein, it's good to have you here in the studio. I hope you come back. I highly doubt it. Well, thank you again so much, Dr. Hans Klein, everybody, nuclear scientist. Well, I think I did myself there. That was particularly stupid. I was listening to that and going, my God, I recorded that. That's the stupidest thing I've ever done yet. I sent that to someone the other day and I was like, what do you think of this? And they were like, they laughed at us and we're like, I didn't want to laugh at it. It was too stupid to laugh at, but I was like, I'm a grown up, I shouldn't laugh at that. But there you go. Anyway, touch after these messages. It is. We've got this Wednesday is Halloween. It's Valentine's Day. It's scary for some people. But here on the Michael Muter Show, we celebrate all love, and by that I mean platonic love, of course, the most healthiest and cleanest love of all. Yeah, I used to send out Valentine's cards to friends and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tell you I love you today. And I'll tell you that as well because I won't be here tomorrow. So I'll tell you I love you now, West Limerick 102 and our West Limerick listeners. And I love you further afield as well. Please be listening. I looked at the numbers and it's really weird, right? On the podcast version of the show, it's like the most people that listen to the show are from San Francisco. And I was like, I don't know anybody in San Francisco. How are they hearing about the show? What a weird... I don't know how that happened. Anyway, we'll go with Simply Irresistible by Robert Palmer now. So here we go. That was Robert Palmer's Simply Irresistible. And coming in the door now, we should have Brendan Laffin in the door right now to push in the door. To come in the door now. He should be almost there. Oh God, here he is. The man, the myth, the legend. It is Brendan Laffin. Oh my God. A titan of industry. How's it going, Brendan?
Titans? I'm not too sure about that.
Listen, Brendan, I'm going to go with Tattooed Lady and Rory Gallagher as Brendan settles down here. So here we go. This is Rory Gallagher, originally from Donegal, and moved to Cork where he made his home. And now there's Rory Gallagher Place, actually, now down near Paul Street, if you know the area. So there you go now. So here is Rory Gallagher and Tattooed Lady. Are you a fan of Rory Gallagher, Brendan?
I like his stuff.
We've Brendan Laffin here in the studio. Brendan, any news, sports-wise, anything?
Sport-wise, it is generally quiet this week, Michael, due to weather and all that. But getting back.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm talking about what happened over the weekend.
Over the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, there was great wins, of course, for the Irish under-20s, Irish men's and Irish women's. When they defeated, when they had a clean hat-trick of wins over the Italians across their respective matches.
Take that, Italy! That's all. No, I'm joking. Go on anyway.
And certainly great play in that too as well.
Oh yeah.
Some good tries in that one too. Of course, locally, all Desmond League soccer was off due to the weather and GA matches were postponed. Yep. But getting back to your thing about space cars.
Space cars? Space cars? What's space cars?
When they launched the car into space. Oh,
that's right. Yeah. Go on anyway.
Well, I think it's a good advancement, the fact that we can launch cars into space. But the thing is, what's not to stop them from coming apart when they go into the atmosphere, into the space?
I think the idea wasn't that you'd keep it there. I think it was more that, look what we can do kind of thing. Because it's an independent company. So it's not like, if NASA did it, we'd kind of go, NASA, come on, like, you're wasting taxpayers' money here. This is crazy. They'd never do it. But an independent company like SpaceX, which is owned by Elon Musk, he can do it. So he went, I've always wanted to have. I don't know how he sounds. He's South African, isn't he? So I can't do South
I
African
think he's
accent.
Russian.
Oh no, he's South African, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. I just know that because of a tweet he sent out. I won't say it over the air. He was a bit rude, but anyway, he put out. Anyway, let's go with it's 11:15. My goodness, the show is nearly done. I can't believe another week done. And a show done for a week. Nearly. But we'll go with Roxy Music. Do you like Roxy Music?
I love Roxy music.
I like Roxy Music. I don't like Foxy Music. That doesn't make any sense. Here's if I have anything else in the show, this makes the most sense. Here's Jealous Guy by Roxy Music. That was Roxy Music and Jealous Guy. I was just saying to Brendan there, I was trying to learn Spanish lately, and I was going to start off with something I'd learned, and I was like, I can't remember a stitch of it now as I say it. I hate it. My memory is not great, but mi hombre Michael, como está? And that's just, how are you? That's just straight away, that's all I know off the top of my head. I learned some other bits and pieces as I'm going along, but it's a cool language to learn. I thought I'd learn another language. And I thought, well, if I want to learn, it used to be Irish I wanted to learn for years. I'd love to learn Irish properly and speak that fluently. But I was like, do you know what? If I want to learn another language, maybe I should go for one that I could use and stuff like that. Do you know that I could, if I went to another country, I could use. Yeah. Whereas that Irish you can use too, though. Like I could watch a lot of the awesome shows on TG4 and stuff like that. We're gonna go with David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust now. Any thoughts on Ziggy Stardust and David Bowie, Brennan, as we have you here?
I think it's a very good song. It's kind of well put together and well thought of.
I liked his spacey kind of style he went there for there. Ashes to Ashes, Space Odyssey, and Ziggy Stardust. And I've said before many times about how I feel that Space Odyssey and Ashes to Ashes are connected.
True.
And Ashes to Ashes is a sequel song to Space Odyssey. As Major Tom's a junkie is a line. Anyway, here we go. It's don't forget it's only 10 to 11. If you're very, very, and I mean extremely quick now, you can get another text in. It's 0871669 hang on. 00. Don't whisper things. You know the rules. You don't leave anything out. All the mistakes are left in. That's the magic. 0871669 That was Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. I was saying to Brendan there during the song, I said I was going to tell him, and then I said, no, do you know what, I'll wait for the air. And he said, I said, it'll be good for the air. And he goes, I don't know about that. But you'll see now. David Bowie had his self-titled so-called debut album with Space Odyssey. It's been renamed kind of now Space Odyssey album. But do you know that he had 2 albums before that totally flopped? Totally flopped. Didn't chart at all, any way, shape, or form. Critically panned, the whole thing. This is David Bowie, genius David Bowie. It just goes to show you that even if you start off and things don't work out, it just kind of means that you just give another go, try it again. If it doesn't work, try again, and you'll get it. You'll keep going. Be true to yourself, and be true to your art, and be true to whatever you want to do, and you'll get it there. You'll get there. What was it, the guy? Oh, and of course during the week we had the sad departure of the man who played Frasier's father on the show Frasier, whose name escapes me. I found out the other day that he didn't start acting until he was 37. People go, yep. People kind of carry on and say like, oh, you should have it all sorted out by the time you're nearly 19. And I hear that. I felt a lot of pressure like that when I was young, and I'm sure you do too, Brendan. Even today you kind of feel that kind of pressure, and it's like, well, you know what, it's never too late to start. What was it, Mads Mikkelsen? He was the same. He started late in life as well acting, and now he's like one of the best actors going. It just goes to show that even if you start late or your first attempt doesn't work, just keep going, keep at it, and stay true to yourself.
Remember, age is only a number.
Age is only a number, except when it's when you're too young. There are certain times when age is not just a number. Sometimes it's not a number. Sometimes it's like no. Come on, Brendan, don't get too crazy. See, Brendan always brings the show down. I'm just kidding. It is 5 to 11. So I'm gonna wrap it up. We're gonna go out with never heard of this band before. Detroit Spinners. You know them? I never heard of them. Cupid is the name of the song, so I'm gonna leave it up because today is Pancake Tuesday, but it's also the day before Valentine's Day, but it's also Ash Wednesday, so no chocolates. Dun dun dun. What? A quagmire. My goodness. Well, we're going to leave out with Cupid and by Detroit Spinners. This has been... No, hang on. First off, I'm going to say thank you to Brendan Laffin for coming in. Thank you to Ann-Marie Silbiger for coming in. Thank you to Patrick Sheen, of course, who's tech support on the show. And I have been Michael Mutual. The cool kids know who I am. Do they, Brendan?
Yes.
They don't. Here is the Cupid by the Detroit Spinners. That's the show for this week. Thank you again for listening. Don't forget you can listen to the podcast on basically every podcast app. If you're able to, please leave a review as it helps. Thanks again to Patrick Sheehan for tech support. Thank you to Ann-Marie Silbiger for joining me. Thanks as well to Brendan Laffin. And of course, as always, thank you as well to Colin Palfrey for the use of that sting. This has been Michael Muto. The cool kids know who I am. I think.